What did you say?
No. Oh, that's funny. I was talking about the chocolate being fair trade.
Yeah. There you go.
Ooh.
Yes, there you go.
That was cool.
Jason's about to come. Oh yeah, no, yep, yeah.
Hey!
Everybody's got to
If
do
I
a fun
hadn't
thing
eaten
over
so
the
much
phone.
food, I would do it. Yeah!
Yeah.
Try a handstand.
Do it. Oh! Oh!
Noise.
Can't hold it very long.
You can't really tell because you can only see your face, can't see your feet. But
Yeah, it's true.
and now
Little darling, steer it up. Boop, boop, boop. Little darling, steer it up. Yeah, yeah. Little darling, steer it up. Boop, 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 boop. Little darling, steer it up.
A little daughter steer it up, yeah.
Hey, hey. Steer it up.
Bye, people.
We're not coming back here.
Like, what the fuck is that?
So good.
Hey, Jill, you want to join us? Okay, cool. Yeah.
Like, okay.
Quit watching all the time.
Here we are. Miss Savannah. It's crazy. It's I feel like I have this idea of I feel like there's this weird construct that space and the cosmos are something out there. That doesn't make any sense to me because we're in space. We're in the we are the cosmos.
It's all around us.
Yeah, there's this weird
You're in the cosmos.
like there's this weird idea like, oh, space is out there. No, you're in space. We're literally
It's also here.
yeah, we're on a planet spaceship hurling around the sun. Like, and then we're in our own individual meat spaceships on a giant spaceship hurling around the sun, and that sun is hurling around a galaxy. Our solar system is hurling around a galaxy. Like, this isn't something separate or different from,
Great point.
right?
Like,
So
people are like, I want to go into outer space. Like,
no, you're in
outer
you are in it. Like, what are you talking about? Like, seriously, like you were in space, flying through the universe at an incredible speed.
Never thought of that.
Really?
Not really.
And so what makes me happy about people like you and all, like, in the cosmos, in the universe, we have connected.
Yeah.
There's something really profound about that.
Yeah, like, I love when you say kindred gravity.
Yeah.
I think that's the coolest thing ever.
Right?
Yeah.
There's something about it.
Yeah.
Hello.
What's up, Kenny?
Did you just call me Kenny? Is that a reference to something I don't know? I feel stupid. I'm sorry.
Kenny Chesney.
I don't know who that is, but I'm sure it's a compliment.
Kenny Chess.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Country singer.
All right, cool. I don't know what he's talking about.
Country singer.
Oh, thank you, sir. So are you. Right back at you. Wow.
I didn't know either.
That
Right
was
over.
you call me a damn handsome man.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, wow. Maybe my meat spaceship is handsome. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It's all just a meat spaceship, right? Like. Floating in space. Sean! Hey, brother. Nice hat. You know what's awesome? That feather flew out of my hat to your hat. Can I tell you one of my pet peeves?
Yes.
It's that sound.
Like a loud car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Loud machines. I feel like we're smarter than that as humans.
Tell me more.
Well, I mean, we're smart that we made machines, right? why make machines that make unnecessary sound?
That's fun.
Not in my mind.
Well, obviously.
Yeah, in my mind, the sounds of nature.
Oh, for
like
sure.
like that's killing.
I would 100% take sounds of nature over that.
Yeah, like that's killing. Like you're still hearing it,
Yeah.
and that's getting in the way of noise pollution. Like
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
and it's I hate commercials. I'll be honest. I hate commercials and I hate machines that make unnecessary sound. I love machines. I love technology. But once Kindred gravity, brother. But like once we have made machines that make things worse. I'm like, no. Maybe I'm being judgmental, but not a fan of machines that make unnecessary sound. So I can't live in the city. I can't do it.
Okay, now I'm going this way.
Yeah, we're just.
Sorry, are we totally disturbing your podcast?
It doesn't matter.
Do you have a podcast going?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Don't worry about it.
Crop it out.
We are in the flow, baby. One of so many magical moments right here. That's why I love podcasting, is because it captures those and like the reminder of home tank. And so I watch our podcast over there, like when we talked about angels and our entourage and everything, and you picking up on, you see them, and we had so many special connections. And then Sean talking about relaxing. Like, that's your thesis statement, by the way, bro.
Yeah.
Everyone has their life thesis. Yours is relax. You're the best teacher for that, man. No, seriously. I see you, man. I see you, and you've taught me that. I'm doing it, and it works. It works.
Don't we all have so much amazing wisdom to share with each other?
Oh my God.
Well, it is, and when you meet the person, when you get a download from somebody, it's like you're not just. It's not like, oh, thank you for that, and now it's me interpreting your download. It's more like that. It's like part of that is carried with you. So that person, essentially, whenever you have that energy, you're using that energy, and it's a part of you. It's not like you're taking it from them. It's more like it's been given to you, and now you can use this as a resource for energy. So wherever you need to go, and you need like that inspiration, that hero, that's there inside of you. And you just have to know where to get it, right? And this is why I believe that we're all essentially a part of the same dream, is that when we dig into our unconscious, it is a part of something that once you gain access to that part of your unconscious, it becomes a resource for energy. So when you need that inspiration, when you need that moment to get you through whatever you're going through, because we go through tough times, bro.
Yeah.
And I know I've gone through tough times, especially even lately, considering this whole pandemic and things. But I use that as a resource for energy. I know I think of you, and I'm like, man, that guy's like so happy. And I love, like, I just think of your smiling face.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Seriously, your smile is just like, you're like...
That's so kind, man.
Yeah. Where are they going?
I don't know, they're feeling different energy. That's okay.
She just bolted. But anyway.
Well, she's feeling.
Exactly.
They have...
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. But yeah.
And we have this.
Yes. Love you, man.
Love you too, brother.
Yeah.
Seriously, man. Like, no, like you... That talk we had over there, like that whole visit was more powerful than you guys realize.
Oh, I think
on my end, and maybe you had some powerful moments too. But like it's like one of those checkpoints where it was like the things that were experienced and talked about, the qigong, your message about relaxing. Look at this bird. Look at. Oh, is it going down? It's seeing something. It's going to go for a fish, maybe.
That thing that we thought was a seagull last time, but it can't be.
I think that's an osprey.
Maybe,
It's looking for a fish,
osprey,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. They're one of my favorite birds.
They're crazy, yeah.
Yeah. I love this lake, man.
Yeah.
Like that. So that's the other thing is like your message about relax has helped me appreciate the gifts in my life more and to be less judgmental, because I feel like we constantly judge. constantly put things in categories, and we constantly like
Compartmentalize.
but to just let it go, and look what's happening.
Yeah.
And like full disclosure, like I was kind of nervous about this weekend.
So I can take that with me, especially when, I have times where I'm like, man, I'm feeling kind of glum, but then, out of nowhere, it's like, it's Jason's laugh.
Okay, so what's really cool about that is the gift of my laugh that I can't see in myself is like the classic SAT question. This is to that, as that is to this. That, what you see in me is what I see in you that helps me, is the relaxed thing. So the relaxing that helps me is a laugh in me that helps you, right? So I want you to feel that power. Like when I'm getting all up in my neurotic self, I hear your voice, relax.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, no, and it's dude, it's opened up so much in my life. I really appreciate you, man.
I am so happy to hear that, man.
Yeah, like you are everything that's your values and your mission, you're doing right. Just put me as another data point in that, because it's affected my life in such a beneficial way. And I met you juggling oranges. Yeah. And like, look what's happened from all of that. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. Well, it's the spontaneity that brings these moments together. If you think about, if you were in your neurotic mind at that moment, you'd have been like, okay, another weird guy juggling.
Nope.
It doesn't. I'm on my mission, right? I'm beelining it to home because that's my logical mind thinking, right? But instead of following that, you were like spontaneity. You were like, juggling? Yes. Oranges? Even weirder. Going with it. Yes.
Yeah, totally.
That looks like a paddleboard all by itself. Is that?
Oh no, they jumped out and they're having fun with it.
Oh, they're out that way. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah. I'm just stretching my legs.
Yeah, that's what I love about paddleboards. You can move around.
Yeah, you can totally like.
That's why I'm a huge paddleboard fan.
Yep.
Yeah, brother, you have opened up. Well, what's cool about it is you're not making it about you. That's the sweet irony of it all. Because you practice what you preach, it opens up others.
I have to. My medicine is definitely something that comes from a place of experience. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sharing it.
Well, I mean, we had that moment where you said you were going through a hard time, and you had to do the work, right?
Yeah.
And brother, like I've been through some shit, like, and we all have, right? Yeah. And so that's what makes this even more magical. Is like we're not trying to prove anything to each other.
No.
And here we are, having an amazing time, enjoying each other. But we're not trying to. I don't have to prove my awesomeness to you. We just see it, and we're just like, fucking great, dude. Like, right? Am I wrong? Like,
no. And I feel like as well. It's not just happenstance. It's something that's part of our human evolution. If we're going to go, like, if you were just like treat a tree every day, you just do the same thing. Like of course, it's kind of like your genius zone. And you're doing really well, and you could support yourself. But without taking these moments and saying yes to like an impromptu weekend, that's the spontaneity. That's going, yes, let's see what happens. That's the spice of life. It's that spontaneity. And once you bring that in, you're changed.
Yeah.
Carl Jung said, when two souls meet, you know that there's been a chemical reaction when each one has walked away, completely changed. That's not the exact quote, but it's something like that. It's like a chemical reaction. And these two have now, it doesn't matter if they separate or come back together or whatever, but once they meet, it's like, and now they're different, and now they've evolved, and now they change.
Yes, and I feel that with you.
I do. I feel the same thing with you.
I thank you, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm glad that it's symbiotic.
Yeah, of course, man.
Yeah.
I feel that it, especially when you can connect it and communicate and like connect the dots and like discuss it like this. Mm-hmm. We have it on these microcosmic levels, right? We unless we don't do that, we're not really using, I hate to say it, like the little deck as an advisor, because it can advise you. It's like, don't be afraid to let that part of you go. Don't be afraid to let that part of you go, because you can embrace the new, embrace the change, embrace what you are now evolving into as a result of this chemical reaction, because it was damn good. And you're taking your time to actually savor it and say, this has been great, man. You know?
Yeah.
And we can have this conversation and say, it's so good.
Yeah, there's something about it.
It becomes deeper ingrained when you can actually, and I believe, when you can communicate it to the other person and say, I appreciate you.
Yeah. And not on a superficial level, but like on an actual level.
Yeah, like a level that is meaningful for your change and evolution. Yeah.
Yeah, and it what's really powerful about it too is because in like full disclosure, like your energy is trending. If that makes sense. Like on a social media level and like on a millennial level.
You think so?
Oh, dude. Like,
how so? What do you mean by
that? What I mean by that is like everything we're talking about is like the woke verbiage, but it's but like we talk about, but what's the energy behind it? Like, is it really woke, or are you just saying that because it's trending and cool? But are you really experiencing it? And if you are, you probably don't need to talk about it because it doesn't matter. Like, and it's cool that you talk about, like, it's this weird, like, tipping point. And so, hi. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Rocking that paddleboard. Look at you. Yeah, you're killing it. And I think, I love Rob Bell. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but one of my favorite quotes from his is, there's nothing to prove. If you're living in a frequency where you think you have something to prove, you're missing it. You're missing it. And that should be a red flag to bring you back to the truth, which is when you're in a space of there's nothing to prove, that's the reality. Yeah. Nothing, we don't have to prove. This doesn't have to be a thing.
Right.
And for whatever reason, neurotic, right? Like you said, man. So I love you, man. Everything you said, like a river trying to get to the ocean. How do we get to? Yeah. It doesn't try.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it just.
That's the doubt.
It relaxes into the flow, and it's not proving to be a river. It's not showing to be a river. It's just a river.
And what was once considered an obstacle is now a landmark on that journey, right? You can look at this thing that was like, again, if we could ask the river if it had consciousness, it's like, oh, how did you do that? It seemed insurmountable. The river would just be like, just relax.
I just relaxed.
And not only did I relax, but when I was really able to navigate this issue with grace and just be able to relax and be okay with it, the edges of that obstacle, the edges of the boulder, what have you, along the way, wears those down.
Softened, yeah, it softened.
And wears those edges down. So it's not so abrasive.
And then you can ask yourself the deeper question. Then why is this even a thing we're talking about? And that's where I get into maybe Alan Watts, but even that
a thing.
And I hear you on the dream stuff because Alan Watts talks about, like, imagine have you heard this one? Imagine you could dream any dream.
I don't know if I have. I mean, I really haven't read, like, I've only...
So his jam is like...
I know very little about it.
Imagine you could dream any dream.
Yeah.
And tonight you get to go to sleep and you get to live this dream. And you get to... and whatever you want. Whatever you want. It doesn't matter because it's a dream.
Yeah.
Okay, so you did that.
Yeah.
So the next night, then what's the fantasy you want to live?
Right.
And then the next, and then the next, and then the next. And then maybe it gets to the point where it's like, hey, you wanted like share a dream with me?
Yeah.
You want to do this together? You want to cool. And then, okay, let's do a dream where I'm Godzilla.
Yeah.
And we're like shooting you and it's like, and then you just keep going like, but the point is like, you still know it's a dream. Mm-hmm. And then maybe you do that so much that you want to live the ultimate dream to forget that you're dreaming. And he says, that's where we are now.
I agree with that. I agree with that. When you lucid dream and you you realize you're dreaming, but then you wake up from you wake up from the dream. What's that? What if you wake up from that dream and then you go through some trial or tribulation and then all of a sudden you wake up from that dream? And then you're like, wow, that was a crazy dream. I had a dream within a dream. And then you're going throughout your day, and then all of a sudden, bam, something hits you, and you wake up from that dream. What is it? What do we call this then? It's a dream.
It's a classic argument of what's real.
Huh?
How do we know it's real?
Yeah. Well, it's also a classic. If this is all a dream, then why can't we lucid dream in our daily life? Why can't we actually make what we want out of this life using the same skills as we would use in a lucid dream? Saying, this is a dream, I'm dreaming, and everything's made of energy. Everything's made of energy anyway.
I have to be very careful with that.
Well,
because you could get super existential to the point where.
But this is why we have practices, Jason. And I know what you're thinking now. You're like, you getting a little bit too up here.
No. Because I've been there, brother. Like, and it's like my dad tells me. Well, his mom's told him, and he tells me because me and him are kind of the same. Don't be so heavily minded that you know earthly good. Like, I get very existential. And it's actually been a problem in my interpersonal relationships because those that are willing to go to my level, it becomes a problem. And so I have to like shut it off at some point. But ultimately, it goes, the rabbit trail goes deep, right? And I think after all of this, I mean, we could go down many trails. The common denominator, I believe, is connection. Is connection and yeah, and it's this is good. This is good. This is the first.
bring me in, Jason.
So my point is, I can go so far down my finite existential thinking where I will lose myself. And I am learning to surrender into really understanding that there is an infinite wisdom that my finite self ultimately, as much as it wants to, can't understand.
Well, and we can't understand everything. We're not supposed to.
Okay. Yeah. So we're having this conversation. We're trying to like break down reality, but at some point, going down all the existential trains, surrender. I call it honor to the infinite. Like, there is an infinite wisdom, and I'm part of it, but I can't know it all.
Right. Yeah. And that's where you can also say, well, I absolutely surrender to the Tao, to nature, because it is what we can always come back to and say, yeah, nature works this way. We have something very, it's consistent, yet it shows us as well that it adapts and that it changes and evolves, right? And so just using nature is more like, we can rest with nature, we can rest with what is, we can relax, and of course we can let things flourish and grow at the same time. But we know we have practices that allow us to know ourselves even better. So like there's certain things you can do in dreams to kind of like, yeah, look at your hands, right? Sometimes you look at your hands and you're like, wow, am I dreaming? I'm dreaming. Right? I'm dreaming. Okay, I can look at my feet. I can do things with my body. I can use my body in ways that help me actually interact with my environment.
That's really funny you say that.
Yeah?
That's really profound that you say that. Because I went deep into the float tank. Like I was going about once a week. And for a good like year. And I got to a point where I would see my hands.
Mm.
But you're in pitch black, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, what am I seeing? And it was this violet kind of color, my hands, you know. But I see stuff in the tank, and I'm like, well, that's a violet, and I know my hand is real.
Yeah.
Because I see it in real time moving across my face, and those things, and then I was like, oh shit, they're here. Mm-hmm. This is because my hand's there.
Yeah.
But I see.
Right.
It was
it's a hallucination, but it is. But what is reality?
No, it's a maybe, but also I think more so it was a. You know that scene in The Matrix when he puts his hand in the mirror?
Yeah.
And then it like takes over his arm. It's a portal. Like I'm reaching into a portal into a deeper dimension, and this is my access point. Not my own perception, but like this is a real dimension that I now have access to. Yeah. And so I did that, and I remember I did that in the shower because I'm like, okay, well, I see my hand. So I did that. I closed my eyes and I did the hand check. I saw the purple, and then I just surrendered. And then I saw a figure in front of me, and I just reached out my hands through the portal, through the dimensions. And it was really like profound, but like really existential, weird shit. But I just put my hands out and I said, I believe you're there, but I'm terrified, and I was shaking. I was like, and I said, we will do this if it's in love. I really believe there's a lot of energies out there, and you got to be careful going into this realm. So I said, I believe you're there in love. And the hands came to me and grabbed my hands, and we held hands for a good like 30 minutes. And it was loving and it was good. But it was like I was crossing a barrier. I was crossing a interdimensional kind of.
With that being said, I would like to go back to what my wife said earlier about the subconscious being underneath, like in the iceberg. What we know is on top, right? What we identify with. Kind of like our personality, our history, and all the things that we identify with. And then when we think of the subconscious, it's the bottom half of the iceberg. So what you're basically accessing there through this different dimension is like an interface.
Interface, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good way to say it, yeah.
You're viewing this part of yourself, essentially. You're accessing a part of yourself that completely unknown, completely, it's energy, right? it can't be described by words, right? What you're seeing, except for the color, right? This color came up.
The color, yeah. But
right?
because I knew my hand's real, and that's the same color as these colors that I'm seeing, and I thought that was just in my head. But if this is not in my head, this is an actual thing that's moving in front of my face, then, oh wait, is that real? So then it was like, I just accepted. Yeah.
Accessing part, I truly believe that you're accessing part of yourself that is in that subconscious realm.
Okay.
So you're basically you're looking through this interface and able to see, wow, now there was one word you used, barrier.
Yeah, like I broke a barrier.
Like you broke a barrier.
Yeah.
Okay. When you break barriers in your own consciousness, you give yourself access to newfound resources. Let's say you break a barrier with the horses. Now you know how to approach horses. And now that you've known how to approach horses, you have a new way of not only transportation, but of accessing, parts of yourself you never knew. I'm a horse person now. I can be comfortable around horses. I don't have to fear horses.
Hence the cowboy hat.
Hence the cowboy hat. I mean, embrace the cowboy for...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for what it is. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, all signs point to horses for me. Yeah, dude.
Beautiful, man.
All right.
Anyway, maybe we should paddle back a little bit. It looks like the lazy right there. We can meet him, and maybe
Oh.
I think.
Oh, well.
I'm getting a little peckish. I think maybe some soup.
Oh, dude, yeah, soup vibe. Dude, I love it. Dude, well, thank you for this time, dude. Hey, Sean, I got one question for you. Why are you so cool, brother? You're just looking so cool over there, man.
Why are we so similar?
Yeah.
You're a raccoon. I'm an eagle.
Dude, I'm just so grateful for this. Thank you. Like, this is magic, right? I mean, look at this. So I had a really good podcast with Savannah today, and we were talking about, like, how I've experienced so much joy in my life, or I'm frustrated when I can't. Like, because I know I've experienced it where I'm like, what? Let's get back there. Let's get, why I can't? Like, and so I think it comes back to, I think we're living in a dense frequency comparatively to the universe. And the universe is, like, everything's got, like, frequency, right? So that's helped me reconcile, like, why it's so frustrating here is because it's like a black dot on a white snowbank, and I just want to make snow angels in the snowbank and my raccoon self, but it's like I just know there's so much more, and it's all right here.
Why shame your past experiences, or saying, I'll never get there again? Why not use them as resources for the next?
Correct. I love it. That's why I love this energy. Like, and I told her that I'm like, I'm just gonna keep going for more.
It's plentiful. Trust me. There's lots to go around, and you're sharing it, and that's what I love about you, man.
Thank you.
I love to share.
And
It is. It's very
and you're bringing that out in me, and this is symbiotic, bro.
That's right.
So much love, dude. Much love, dude. Don't
Don't be jealous of our bromance now.
Bromance. There's nothing really gay about it. So much good stuff going on.
That's the question that Savannah just asked me.
Oh.
What are you looking forward to? Magical time. Credit to Savannah, by the way. So there you go.
You're not going to TM that yourself? You're not going to copyright that one? What am I looking forward to? I'm hanging out with my son on Monday. I'm looking forward to editing these podcasts. That's always fun. Posting them. Looking forward to... the more I relax and open up to the love frequency, I'm excited to see what comes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. It's kind of like, we all have that in common. Like, excited for what's going to come.
Yeah, I might not know what it is, but I'm.
Exactly where I am now.
Yeah, I'm open to it. Like this is why we're all together. Because I have, and you have, and we all have no expectations, just open to what's letting it. Lulu! You're awesome! Woo!
Everything is awesome.
Adult summer camp, go! It's adult summer camp. We're in adult summer camp. Get it. Get it, Serga. So many fears faced this weekend, and so much joys had. Just play with it.
Activate that sexy, strong core.
Yeah. Sexy, strong core, go.
Okay, Lappy, don't talk too fast now because I'm slow.
Just do you, boo. Just have fun. Just have fun.
Yep, okay.
Yeah, your pace. Just enjoy it. Yeah.
It's too cold for me to take.
my dog?
I wouldn't recommend it.
I do have diamond cutters.
Why are you here? It's
Right.
7:45 at night.
Oh my
Tools.
god. Can she
They
come
are.
out
We need
and
to
just
cut
like hang out with us?
glass.
Or,
No,
Diamond.
I can put her on a leash. I can go get her on a leash.
Oh, because she's lonely.
I know.
She
I
maybe
can go
could be
put her
on
on
a.
a, yeah,
on a
put her
rope.
on the leash and tie her around
Well,
there.
why don't we do maybe do the empowerment
We're gonna
first?
do
and
the-
then
Oh, is it really
Yeah.
quick?
Yeah, yeah. We can give it kind of quick.
Well, but if
Oh no,
Let me. Okay, are we gonna do this or not? Like,
Yeah.
you're taking
We're
off
doing
your
it.
shoes.
What it?
And if I'm
I'm just like hearing
Feel
the
empowered,
dog
go.
and, like,
Feel
feeling
empowered,
the
go.
dog.
Oh, wait, we're gonna do this to taking my shoes off. If I'm not, well.
no, I recommend it highly. I recommend shoes off just because it helps you connect with the earth. And this is, essentially grounding. We're allowing ourselves to feel more connected to this thing that we call the
We
mother.
live on.
So
We call the mother.
get you closer.
I blame the other dog in the car.
Yeah, 100%.
Got home.
So yeah,
You're almost there.
Jason,
You're almost
you know you still have to go get that later. I was really
so we
hoping
can
it went
spread
to
out
gravel
with this
because
first
that
one.
would be
Let's
great.
spread out a little bit. In fact, yeah.
Yeah,
With
maybe
Lulu
watch
and
your
Sierra,
shoes.
would you guys go a little bit further out?
Out in the woods, you mean?
No,
Just get away from
let's
me?
get a nice, let's get a nice circle going. That's good. That's not recording, right?
Oh, you might turn it off?
Oh no, if it is recording, I don't care. I just,
Yeah.
I just wanted you to
I
be
want
aware
it
of
to
it.
record, yeah.
Not anymore. I stopped it because we had an
No, and I
interruption.
restarted it.
Oh, you did? Okay, great.
Yeah, because I think this is magic. And
Yes,
if that's okay with everybody.
Good,
Sure.
yes.
Yeah.
So funny.
It's all good. So, feeling this connectedness with the earth, kind of, a little bit like open your toes. There's even a toe stretching exercise. Bring your big toes down, your little toes up. Big toes down, little toes up. Go ahead, just press the big toe down, lift the little toes up. Ah, I can see it now. Yes. Okay, now little toes down, big toe up. Yeah. And don't pull a muscle, you just feeling it, and then alternate between those two. And then once you feel like you have a little more real estate to work with down here, bend your knees, relax your shoulders, and just kind of feel the earth for a moment. Just feel the ground underneath you, relaxing the arms. Yeah, you might even have a sigh of relief, something come up, just kind of listening to that relaxed breath. Relax your belly. Take a deep breath in. Just, yeah. Yeah, just kind of. And then bringing the hands together. Feel the energy that you've just created by clapping the hands together like this. There's some sort of energy in between your hands. You can feel it, even just from the staying. If you want to, you can clap again. Feel that energy you've created in between your hands. And then as you Close your eyes for a moment and relax your shoulders again with the palms still together. Now, playing a little bit with the weight in between each hand. How much pressure in between both hands now? Just observing. And then you might even be able to stiffen the hands up a little bit enough to where you gently pull them apart or bring them back together. Just playing with pressure. You notice that if you create just a tiniest bit of space between the two palms, you feel like a magnetism, either going into each other or pulsating away like you're having to press your hands together. And you can eventually begin to experiment with separating the hands even more. And then enough to where you just take both palms, lay them open. You're holding two bowls of energy. And then you can eventually bring the hands into a sphere, right, or a ball, bringing those two bowls essentially of energy together. And now you can start to experiment with the size of your energy ball. How big is it? In what ways can that energy move? Or expand? Or shrink? Or whatever else you might be able to observe how this at first feels like you are making this ball of energy, but really the energy's always been there. And now you can allow your body to move in whatever way that the energy is taking you. You can call it resonance, you can call it the body going into alignment and out of alignment. Just allow this energy to take you wherever your body wants to go. You create your own flow. And keeping in mind that you're flowing with this energy ball. In some ways, the ball can expand. It can be much bigger movements or smaller movements. But just observing what your body needs in this moment. And you might be able to feel what you resonate with and what you don't resonate with. Even if you experience what you don't resonate with, you have a choice of perceiving it as an obstacle or something that needs attention. Shifting your perspective to something that needs attention. And then you learn from it. And then you can go with what you resonate with, which will also provide you your flow. You get to know your edges of movement, maybe your mobility, flexibility. These are all ways we can embody more movement. And now that you've cultivated your ball of energy, yawning is the first sign. You might bring your arms over your head so you have gained this amount of energy that actually has been cultivating you. And then by either yawning or taking a deep breath or sigh of relief, exhale everything out. And then as you inhale, you'll bring this ball of energy into your body. Begin to anchor it in those places that perhaps needed attention. Maybe part of you that needed more empowerment. Could be a pain, or it could be a sign of imbalance. Anchoring this energy in your body, in those places. And then imagine what those places are. How would what their dream would be to move. All right, once you've anchored it into your body, the last one is the group. This is a group variation where everybody essentially takes part. So we can start like we began, just like in that natural kind of stance. And there's a fun way to do natural stances. You take a big jump. And then once you land, you can notice that the higher that you jump, yeah, these suckers down here, those quads, those are going to catch you. So you notice even that the more that you bend your knees, it keeps you more stable. That's why when we hit the ground, yeah, if we bend the knees more, it really keeps us stable. So with that,
Basically, the softer you can land, the better.
thank you. Vanna, my lovely Vanna. Jaja, actually. So by having this natural stance, you just relaxing your arms for a moment. You can even take your fingertips to the tips of your ears and pull up to find oh, can anybody show me the top of their head first? Show me the top of your head. Good. Yes. Sorry, this is the kindergarten version. Let's just go back to the adult
knees
version.
and toes. Knees and
Pulling up on your ears until you feel like a nice lift. I mean, you can pull up on your ears pretty hard, right? It's not a big deal, unless you have sensitive ears. Pressing into your head and then just pulling up, really feeling that alignment that you create, right? Very top of that head. You might even have a sigh of relief or any type of movement. Spontaneous movement can be a sign. And then by bringing the arms down, we can begin round 2. Clap the hands together and feeling that energy. Yeah, do it as many times as you want, kind of just getting a feel for that energy. with that energy in there, and then beginning to explore the energy. How it feels kinesthetically. Yeah, you might resonate with it, which yawning is a good way of knowing if you're resonating with something. You're relaxed, all right? You're okay. You're not putting your guards up. Just going with what you resonate with. And then we can begin to make larger balls of energy eventually. You might even feel that the ball in front of you is all of a sudden beginning to fill up. Like now we've made the intention of using this ball for attention. And just kind of observing now the shape of the ball. This big giant thing that we have. We can even explore the edges of it. What its surfaces feel like. And if you do it with eyes open, and just observing what it is for you, right? And the mantra "ha" is invited. It helps relax as well, right? How can you be, if you don't resonate with something, then can't be a mantra called So now that we've kind of explored the contours of it, we can explore with the shape of it. Why not? Why does it have to be limited to just exploring our boundaries with one dimension of our bodies? We can really explore all dimensions. What does this feel like for you? And how is it directing you? Yeah. By just listening to the breath, right? How are you knowing if you're resonating with it or not? Oh, I'm yawning because good. Are you lost, little sheep? Oh shit! I broke it. Okay, not going it. I'm not gonna break it again.
It's still intact. We've got it.
Okay.
Got it for you. Don't worry.
Good. Thank you.
Oh, totally got it.
Thank you. Higher up, and really getting a sense of this magnificent ball we've all nurtured, right? And then we can eventually nurture ourselves so we can step in a little bit closer. You're taking some social distancing, Laura? I think you're getting get closer. Let's get closer than this. We can get closer. We can do better than this. And then eventually allowing this nursed ball of energy nurse. We'll bring it down. Once again, taking a deep breath in. Exhale everything out. And then your last breath here. It can be yawn or stretch or sigh of relief. And then your next breath in, you're going to bring this ball of energy with you. As we slowly bring it into each other. That energy. Can you be so observant to energy now that you can feel what other people need energy? This feeling can be amazing. Amazing.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, everybody.
More hugs, though.
More hugs, though. We're not done with the hugs.
That was the first hive mind I've ever really taken. That was amazing.
Yeah, the frequency was
right.
The humming.
More of that
The improv. Wow, that was great, man.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that was amazing. No, thank you. I just knew I had it. I was the what do you call it? Catalyst.
Thank you with just jumping in.
Yeah, sorry, chill. First, we got to give recognition to this.
Yeah,
She's like,
she's
this is the
amazing,
most
like-
craziest.